Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar, the WWE Champion. Unification match is happening at WrestleMania. What's up, Maniacs? My name's Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we're talking about Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. WWE has confirmed the title unification match at WrestleMania. The WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, it's going to become one. It's going to be one title, and it's very exciting times. This finally gives this big main event, this stupendous WrestleMania, some type of meaning. Champion versus champion was never going to be enough. It needed some stakes, and finally, not only are we going to see two of the biggest competitors in the industry go off at each other, but it's also to unify the two big championships in the company, the Universal Championship and of course the WWE Championship. We're going to look into the reasons that they're doing this, the pros and cons, and what I think about this in just a second, so stay tuned. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that's WWE and AEW, so if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell as well, so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into it. WWE confirmed the title unification match at WrestleMania. So for quite some time now, maybe about 2016, we have had the brand split. We have had two champions over the two shows, and it's always felt like both shows haven't done well at the same time. One show is stronger than the other, whether that's SmackDown being stronger than Raw or Raw being stronger than SmackDown, the champion on SmackDown being a better champion than the one on Raw, and vice versa. There's always been this conflict, but it looks like WWE have finally taken action to do something about it and just give us one champion that floats across both shows, and then an array of talent that can just show up on either show. As years have went on, the brand split has kind of become more meaningless anyway. WWE let the superstars go from show to show every now and again. They call it the brand invitational or some kind of nonsense like that, and people are just turning up and filling in where needs be. But it looks like now, with the move to have a title unification match at WrestleMania, that those days are done. I'm pretty much assuming here that the unification match will end the brand split. It doesn't really make sense to still have two different brands with two different rosters. Like I said earlier, I'm sure the rosters will be quite fluid now. People just turn up wherever they like. Following the contract segment on SmackDown this past week, it's even hinted that Roman Reigns owns everything. He walked out of the ring and he went on one, pointing at the WrestleMania sign, pointing at the fans, pointing at the commentary team, the security, saying he owns everything in WWE. So the end of the brand split, the unification of the titles, may even come across later on as Roman Reigns' idea, because he owns everything. He just wants to make everything one big Roman Reigns party. So yeah, in due time, like we're saying, you know, we see the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship get unified at WrestleMania. Maybe the Men's Tag Team Championship gets unified. It looks like the Women's Tag Team titles, there's only one anyway, and that is supposed to be a floating champion, which we never really see happen, hence why NXT went and made their own Women's Tag Team Championship. But Naomi and Sasha Banks linking up to maybe give that title some prominence sounds good to me. I'm looking forward to it. How they handle the two mid-card titles will be very interesting, the Intercontinental title and the US title. Neither of them is made to feel overly prestigious right now, but maybe those will kind of be the de facto top titles of Raw and SmackDown, and then you just have one floating world champion. And then yes, the women's title should be unified as well, and maybe this whole unification process slowly makes its way down to SummerSlam, and by SummerSlam we're having a main event where the women are unifying the world championships. I think that is something that people would like to see. I think the biggest negative of the brand split ending for me is that we may fall into a cycle of seeing the same people on TV all the time, because they need to sell seats in arenas, they need to get TV ratings up. So don't be surprised, obviously you're going to get the champion on both shows, but the other top hitters on the show, the AJ Styles, the Seth Rollins and stuff like that, you may see them every week on Raw and SmackDown. Drew McIntyre, Raw and SmackDown. Charlotte Flair, Raw and SmackDown. Becky Lynch, Raw and SmackDown. You see what I mean? It could get quite painful quite quickly. We know WWE. they over rely on their top stars anyway. So now that there's going to be the fluency of letting them go on both shows, we may just see these people over and over and over again and never see any kind of new and emerging talents. And on the flip side of that, one of the pros of the brand split, it was because this is the stock roster on Raw, and this is the stock roster on SmackDown. If you want to follow so and so wrestler, you have to tune into SmackDown because that's where they're going to be, and so on and so forth for the same for Raw. So yeah, where it used to give more TV time to certain wrestlers, that may not be the case now, as they over rely on using the same old names that they know can handle the job in the ring. Now for me, I've always been a fan of the brand split. I've liked two champions and all of that, and Raw should have its own people and SmackDown should have its own people, and it should feel like two different shows. I've always been a fan of that. Have WWE delivered that? Not really. The shows still feel very repetitive in terms of the matches and the personnel we see on these shows. They haven't handled booking for these shows very well. We are not creating new stars at the top level, at the mid-card level, at the tag team level. Hence why it makes sense to end the brand split. Even against what I'm saying, I like the brand split, but it doesn't make sense because they don't handle it differently. They don't create the new stars. They don't make the shows feel different. So yeah, end the brand split. Let's try something new, and for many this is the way to go. So I'm looking forward to the change that it brings. But I will say I did enjoy the contract segment signing on SmackDown this past week. Roman and Brock are on a different level to this entire roster. Raw or SmackDown, they're just different right now. It's so good to see, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. This is a stupendous main event with big stakes now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this WrestleMania match a whole lot more. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts on the title unification match and that this will possibly end the brand split. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And if you enjoyed today's video, please remember to hit the thumbs up button, give us a like. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.